Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online class, biology session, transportation, the circulatory system, part 2. So in the part 1, we ended with the structure of heart. Let us know more about the internal structure of heart. We have conducted an experiment. Okay, if goats or sheep heart is available, the presence of your regular teacher, you are studying the structure of heart. So now some questions related to the internal structure of heart. Try to understand these questions. Is the thickness of the wall of the heart uniform throughout? WALL, wall means the outer wall. So as we know that the heart is covered by means of a double membrane protective layer, that is pericardium. Okay, now wall, the thickness of wall of the heart is uniform throughout. Okay, so it may be thick in some places and thin in some places. How many chambers are there in the human heart? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many chambers? 4 chambers. Are all the chambers of same size? No, there is a deviation, difference. Okay, in the sizes, even in the two auricles also, one is big, one is small. Even in the ventricles also, one is big, one is small. What other differences could you observe between the chambers? Okay, so other differences, even in the receiving the blood also. For example, this right atrium, always remember in the image, three-dimensional image, your left hand side represents the right chambers and your right hand side represents the left chambers. Okay, this is the right auricle. The right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body. Okay, and the left auricle receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs. And here the auricles pump blood to only ventricles, whereas ventricles pumps blood to all parts of the body. If you compare left ventricle and right ventricle pumps blood to only lungs, whereas left ventricle pumps blood to all parts of the body. So if you see the walls of the left ventricle, they are very thick compared to right ventricle. Okay, so like this, compared to auricles, the ventricle walls are very thick. Okay, are all the chambers connected to each other? No, they are separated. The two auricles are separated by interauricular septum. The two ventricles are separated by interventricular septum. Both auricles and ventricles are separated by auriculoventricular septum. So like this, here auriculoventricular septum is present here, so that auricles are separated from ventricles. Okay, two auricles are separated from each other, interauricular septum. Two ventricles are separated from each other, interventricular septum. So all these arrangements such that mixing of blood is prevented. Okay, so that's why the mammalian heart is well developed, sophisticated. Okay, the internal structure is related to its function. So that's why the mammalian heart, instead of human heart, if you take even the goat or sheep heart also, the same arrangements will be there. Okay, next question, how are they connected to each other? How are they separated? Just now we have discussed. They are connected to each other by inter auriculoventricular septum. They are connected to each other. And how they are separated? Interauricular septum separate two auricles, interventricular septum separate two ventricles. Okay, and how they are connected? How the blood from auricles enters into the ventricle? So, for example, there are some apertures are present between the auricles and ventricles. So, the right auriculoventricular aperture, there is an aperture here, right auriculoventricular aperture. It is guarded by tricuspid valve is present. A valve is present here, which regulate the flow of blood from right auricle to right ventricle. And in the same manner, left auriculoventricular aperture, which is guarded by another valve here. So that valve is called as a mitral valve or bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve. In this way, the auricles and ventricles are connected to each other. Auricles and ventricles are connected to each other. Okay. So right auriculoventricular aperture guides the blood to flow from right auricle to right ventricle. Left auriculoventricular aperture consisting of the mitral valve, which regulates the blood to flow from left auricle to left ventricle. Okay, and last, note down the size, shape, and to which parts they are attached. And can you guess the function of these structures? Okay, already we have discussed. So the size, one's own fist size. Okay, and the shape, conical in shape, and which parts it is attached. So in the heart, it is present in the middle chest cavity. So it is attached to all body parts. It is connected with the blood vessels. Each and every cell is supplied with blood capillaries. Okay, these blood vessels will divide into small capillaries and supply the blood to each and every cell. Okay, so this is the internal structure. Let us proceed. More, the heart is pear shaped. Pear fruit will be there, no? Pear shaped structure, a triangle in outline, triangular in outline, and wider at the anterior and narrow at the posterior. Anterior end means towards the auricles it is wider, and towards the ventricles narrower, conical. The heart is covered by two layers of membranes, that is called pericardium membrane, pericardial membranes, a thin transparent membrane, double layered, and the gap between these two membranes is filled with a fluid. It is called pericardial fluid. What is the function of this pericardial fluid? This pericardial fluid protects the heart from physical shocks. Okay, and the heart is divided into four parts by grooves. Okay, longitudinal grooves and vertical grooves, four grooves. The two upper parts are called atria or auricles, and the two lower chambers are called ventricles. Okay, the left atrium and ventricle are smaller when compared to the right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, once again you see here. Okay, left atrium and left ventricle are smaller compared to right atrium, right ventricle. Okay, next, the blood vessels found in the walls of the heart are coronary vessels. Okay, you know the blood vessels, they are large blood vessels are there. They are mainly divided into two, arteries and veins. Okay, they are subdivided into pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein and systemic artery and vena cava. Like that, 4 main blood vessels are there. Okay, apart from those, and the thin blood vessels which supply blood to the heart muscles, they are coronary vessels which supply blood to the muscles of the heart, because heart muscles work continuously, they require more oxygen. And we studied previously in your 9th class, you have studied the muscles which are present in animal tissues. The muscles with which heart is made up of, they are called cardiac muscles. They are supplied with more mitochondria to provide more energy. Okay, and those muscles are involuntary striated muscles. Structurally they are striated, and functionally they are non-striated. Okay, they work from birth to death. Next, further, the walls of the ventricles, if you compare the walls are not same all the sides, they are different. Okay, so in some places it is very thick, I said already. The left ventricle walls are very thick because it is supplying blood to, it is pumping blood to parts far away from the heart. So for protection, the walls are very thick. So here the walls of ventricles are relatively thicker than the atrial walls. Atrial walls means, because the auricles are pumping blood to only ventricles, but ventricles are pumping blood to parts which are far away from the heart. So that's why ventricular walls are very thick. In our observation, we find that the heart has 4 chambers in it. On the left side, 2 chambers are present. One is anterior and the other is posterior. On the right side also 2 chambers are present, one upper anterior and one lower posterior. Okay, so totally 4 chambers. They are left auricle, left ventricle, right auricle, right ventricle. So observe the presence of the blood vessels attached to heart. How many blood vessels are attached to the heart? How many blood vessels are attached to the heart? So there are 4 main blood vessels, that is vena cava, pulmonary artery, and pulmonary vein, and systemic artery or aorta. So are all the blood vessels are rigid? How many of them are rigid? Rigid means very strong. Okay, so the main blood vessel which is rigid are arteries, because arteries are the blood vessels which carry the blood far away from the heart. So aorta is the biggest and the strongest artery. Okay, do you think that the stiffness, rigidity of blood vessel is something to do with circulation? Definitely. Okay, and in some of the blood vessels there are valves are also present. Further we will discuss. The rigid vessels are called arteries. Okay, arteries are very strong, stiff, rigid, which originate from the heart. Okay, and supply blood to various organs in the body. The larger artery is the aorta or systemic aorta, it is also called. Okay, largest, biggest. Next, the relatively smaller one is the pulmonary artery. Okay, pulmonary artery which brings which supply the blood to lungs for purification. The pulmonary artery starts from the right ventricle. Okay, the relatively smaller one is the pulmonary artery which carries blood from heart to lungs. Next, the next one, the less rigid vessel are the veins. Compared to arteries, veins are less rigid, stiffness is less, which bring blood from all parts of the body to the heart. because they are carrying blood from all the parts of the body, and they carry that blood to the heart. The vein which is at the anterior end of the right side of the heart is superior vena cava. Superior vena cava, it is also called as precaval vein, okay, which collects blood from deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body which are above, means from the hands, from the head, okay, that is called as anterior parts of the body. So the vein which collects the blood, deoxygenated blood from anterior parts of the body and opens into the right auricle, it is called as a precaval vein or superior vena cava. Next, the vein which is coming from the posterior parts of the heart is inferior vena cava or postcaval vein. It is also called a postcaval vein. It collects the blood from the abdominal parts or posterior parts of the body, okay, from the limbs, from the legs, okay, and abdominal parts. The deoxygenated blood is collected, and it also, both the vena cava will opens into the right auricle, okay. So the two atria or the two ventricles are separated from each other by a muscular partition called septa, okay, the two atria and two ventricles. So two auricles are separated by interauricular septa, two ventricles are separated by interventricular septum. Next, the opening between atria and ventricles are guarded by valves. Okay, how the blood moves from artery to ventricles? Auricles and ventricles are separated from each other, okay, by means of septae. Two auricles are separated by interauricular septum, two ventricles are separated by interventricular septum. Even auricles and ventricles are also separated by auriculoventricular septum. Auriculoventricular septum. So this auriculoventricular septum is guarded by the valves, okay, because these valves are muscular structures which prevent the backward flow of blood, okay. In the right atrium, we can observe the opening of superior and inferior vena cava, okay, as I told you, the vena cava, anterior vena cava or superior vena cava, and posterior vena cava or inferior vena cava, these two opens into right auricle, okay. In the left atrium, means into the left auricle, we can observe the opening of a pulmonary vein. This pulmonary vein bring blood from lungs, but vena cava bring deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body and open into right atrium. But into the left atrium, pulmonary vein which brings oxygenated blood from lungs to the right, to the left atrium, okay. So right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body, left auricle or left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the lungs, okay children. From the upper part of the left ventricle, a thick blood vessel called aorta. From the upper part of the left ventricle, a thick blood vessel with the thickest walls, okay, WALL. So it supplies the oxygenated blood to all body parts. It supplies oxygenated blood to all body parts. From the upper part of the right ventricle, so another blood vessel arises, that is called pulmonary artery. It arises and it supplies deoxygenated blood to the lungs, okay. So here what is happening? From all body parts, deoxygenated blood is received by right atrium. So that right atrium pumps blood into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, pulmonary artery is the blood vessel which carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs. In the similar manner, the left auricle or left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the lungs, and that oxygenated blood is pumped to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, a very thick walled blood vessel artery, main artery is arised. It is called aorta or systemic aorta. It supplies oxygenated blood to all body parts. Okay, children. Next, the blood vessels and the blood circulation. So let us study how we came to know about the structure and function of blood vessels. So actually it was until the 16th century that we really came to know how our blood vessels function. In 1574, an Italian doctor, Girolamo Fabrici, was studying the veins in the leg. He noticed that they have small valves in them. Okay, who studied? Fabrici studied that the veins in the legs had small valves. Okay, if the blood moved in one direction, the valves folded towards the walls of the vessel. Okay, here the two terms are there. You try to identify, to try to recognize the difference between VALVES valves, VA, okay, here valve and valves. Okay, valve is a muscular structure. The valves, okay, there is a difference. These valves will prevent the backward flow of blood, or we can say they regulate. Okay, they regulate the flow of blood. Here these valves prevent the collapse of the vessel, blood vessel. Okay, so if the blood moved in one direction, the valves folded towards and walls of the vessel, towards the walls of the vessel, so that the blood could pass without trouble. If the blood moved in the opposite direction, the valves close, so that valves are regulating the flow of blood. They act like the traffic police. Okay, this meant that they are one-way valves, means the valves allow the flow of blood in only in one direction. The valves permitted the blood to move even when a person is standing upright, but not move downward. Okay, so he noticed that who noticed? Fabrici in 1574. He noticed that they had small valves in the veins. If the blood moved in one direction, the valves folded towards the walls of the vessel, so that the blood could pass without trouble. If the blood moved in opposite direction, what happened? The valves will close and regulate the flow in only one direction. Okay, this meant that so there is only one way flow. The valves permitted the blood to move even when a person is standing upright. Okay, so when a person moves his legs or just tightens his leg muscles, so those muscles squeeze the veins and force the blood in those veins to move upward against the pull of gravity, because that's the only way to move. If a person keeps his leg muscles relaxed, the blood is not moving much, but at least it is not being pulled down by gravity. Okay, the valves play a very important role. The valves won't allow that the blood move towards the gravity. Okay, so this is very important to know. Everyone thought that what happened, the blood leaving the left ventricle always moved away from the heart, for which the Fabrici paid no attention. Everybody thought that Fabrici paid no attention towards the left ventricle when it pumps the blood moving away from the heart. So he missed that importance of his own discovery. But then William Harvey, in belonging to the in between 1578 to 1657, he is an Englishman who, after he became a doctor, went to Italy for further education and studied under Fabrici. Who is William Harvey? William Harvey is considered as a father of physiology. Physiology means the study of functional aspects of living organisms. Okay, William Harvey is the student of Fabrici. Okay, what he has done, William Harvey dissected the hearts of dead people, dead human beings. Okay, and studied the valves between each atrium and the ventricle. Okay, so there are valves are present in between the auricles and ventricles, and he noticed that they were one-way valves. They were one-way valves. They allowed the blood to flow from the atrium to the ventricle without any hindrance. Without any hindrance. And when the heart contracted, however, no blood in the ventricle could flow back into the atrium. Okay. Instead, all the blood was pushed out into the arteries. Okay. So one thing you have to remember, the blood vessels which bring blood to the heart are called veins, and the blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart are called arteries. Okay, the blood flow from artery, atrium to ventricle, upper chamber to lower chamber. Okay, but not from ventricles to auricles. Okay, after ventricles receiving blood, the blood is pumped away from the heart. The blood is carried to body parts. From right ventricle, it is carried to the lungs, and from the left ventricle, the blood is carried to all body parts. Okay. So Harvey began thinking about the valves his teacher Fabrici had discovered in the leg veins, and they were one way, and they forced the blood to move toward the heart. So Harvey, he checked that by tying off and blocking different veins in animals, he experimented on the veins always bulged on the side of the block away from the heart. Okay, he experimented. He conducted experiments on different animals, mainly on the arteries and veins. Okay, so arteries are deep-seated blood vessels. Mainly, the veins are superficial blood vessels. So he checked that by tying off and blocking different veins in animals, he experimented on the veins always bulged on the side of the block away from the heart, as though the blood is trying to flow toward the heart and to accumulate just below the block. because it simply couldn't flow away from the heart. This was true of all veins. Even in the arteries, the blood bulged on the heart side of any block he put in, as though it were trying to flow away from the heart and couldn't move in other direction. Okay, because what is the difference between arteries and veins? Next we are going to discuss that only. So actually the veins are carrying blood from different parts of the body. They are bringing blood to the heart. Okay, so when the veins are blocked or tied, veins always bulged on the side of the block, it is away from the heart, whereas arteries towards the heart. Means this indicates that the experiments of William Harvey indicates that arteries are the blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart. Veins are the blood vessels which bring blood to the heart. Okay. Okay, children. I hope you understood. Please read the textbook, go through the diagram while reading. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.